Heidi-ho, you guys. Well, it never fails. Whenever I get ready to start taping a video, the batteries are dead in my camera. So we'll start out with some slideshow action, I guess. I got me a new table saw. Well, new to me anyhow. It's an old Craftsman table saw, 10-inch, and near as I can tell, they quit making them at least 20 years ago. I saw people that had them 29, 30 years old. But what's really interesting is it's electronic, and everything works, and by golly, it seems to be pretty accurate. Oh, except for the fence. I'll get into that in a future video. But the top of the saw is cast iron, and it's in pretty bad shape. So I thought I'd break everything down and get busy and refinish the top. Hey, what do you know, you guys? I finally got batteries in my camera. I've got about 2/3 of this thing done. It's moving right along. I don't know if you can tell the difference. It had an awful lot of rust stains and pitting, and I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit here. There are a lot of machining marks across the top of this thing, and I think they're actually from when it was originally made. I can't see any other reason why these big wide scratches would be in the top, but they're there anyway. And as I've been working on it, I've been able to get, well, most of it out. This is actually shinier than it looks on the camera, because I don't know if you can see it, but I'm keeping a thin layer of WD on the parts I've already worked on to keep them from re-rusting while I'm working on the rest. So I'm going to get busy on the rest of it, and we'll see how it all turns out. I'm just using a palm sander, and I started out with a lot finer grit paper, but I learned pretty quickly that I have to get really aggressive with it to start with, and I'm using 50 grit emery cloth to start with. Okay, you guys, so I don't know if you can see me good or not, but there's some really good heavy rust pits and stuff on this side, and I've been at it for about an hour with the 50 grit paper, and there comes a point where you have to decide when you're going to have a diminishing return, and if you do your own table saw top, you'll have to decide for yourself. So I've decided, well, I'm just going to go ahead and switch down to a little less aggressive paper. I got some 80 grit in my little palm sander here, and it won't take as long because I'm not trying to remove material. I'm just trying to get the sanding marks out from the 50 grit paper. And oh, by the way, always got to say, it's a good idea to wear ear protection, eye protection, and a good dust mask for this job, because that would be inside your lungs if you didn't. And wear old clothes, because it's a really messy job. So I'm going to go at it with the 80 grit paper, and then I won't show you the next step, but it's going to be 150 grit paper. It took me about 6 hours of sanding to get it to this point, and I think that's about as far as I'm going to go. I used the 50 grit, then 80 grit, then 150 grit sandpaper, and then I went to 220, and finally some 600 grit paper after I cleaned all the oil off, and that kind of polished it up pretty good. You guys probably can't see it in the video, but you can see your reflection in it in real life, and that's good enough for me. And I wound up putting about 3 coats of a good furniture paste wax on it. You got to use something without any silicone, because silicone's really rough on saw blades. But that's kind of where it's at. I'll pan out a little bit and let you guys see the whole thing at one time. See, I gotta move you back a little bit more. Anyhow, I'm gonna post this over. I belong on Facebook. My wife and I are have gotten where we collect cast iron cookware a lot, and we're really kind of into that because, you know, for example, I brought this down here. This is I call it my daily driver skillet. It's made by a company called Griswold way back. It's got to be 50s or 60s, I think, maybe even the 1940s, I can't remember. And it's really seasoned well. I posted a video a while back on how to clean and season cast iron cookware. And I could burn an egg in this thing till it's black and then wipe it right out with a paper towel. This thing is so non-stick at this point. So I'll be posting this video on Facebook over on the cast iron cooking page. Hopefully the admins will keep it up, because it's really interesting just how far and how clean and shiny you can make cast iron. So anyhow, happy sanding if you get yourself a new table saw, and keep at it. We'll get through this.